He's at least going to get another possession. Universally admired. Game number 350 for Travis Boak. Even the Richmond fans applaud the champ. Kicks to the wing.
What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Port Adelaide versus Richmond at the MCG. A 30-point win to take home in Boaky's 350th game. I do apologise for the late review as I was at the F1 Grand Prix on the weekend in Melbourne. I missed the Boaky 350 game, unfortunately, because of the race, but I did watch it, I did get to see it, and I did get to celebrate the great man's 350th game, and I'm just very glad we got the win in the end for him. An interesting result, to say the least, but we got a win at the MCG as well, and I'm very glad that we got to showcase our skill set and everything in front of a decent crowd to celebrate Boaky's 350th game. So let's get straight into it, and let's review round two. Well, that was an interesting game, wasn't it? It was very much a tale of two halves, and whilst, it wasn't the great first half, and Richmond definitely looked more alive and more potent, we took a half to get going, and again, sort of the first half, maybe our sails, the wind in our sails was taken out a bit, considering our shitty goal kicking. And that's the one key takeaway again, was that first half where we simply had 5 goals 9, I think it was, going into half time. Somehow managed to turn it around and in the end kick 18 goals, 14, which is great. Our goal kicking was really, really good in that second half, led by Todd Marshall, who kicked 4 straight after a couple of misses early. Finlayson kicked some straight ones as well, and whilst Dixon missed one late, and pretty much it was an easy set shot, he did kick a nice goal from 50 that kicked it all off as well. So our big boys doing the job and setting the tone with our goal kicking there in the second half. And it's definitely something that has to be worked on. It definitely has to be the most important component right now. I think that has to be a negative and worked on to become a positive, because going against the bigger sides, like this week we come up against Melbourne, and that is for me our first true test of where we stand this year and how we look as a club. Are we that top 4 team that we're hoping to be, or are the first 2 rounds of the year just beating worse sides and just ticking the boxes there? It'll be interesting to see, but to come up against Richmond, who looked really, really good in the game against Carlton, weren't great against the Gold Coast, but at the MCG as well, it's always a tough ask. We don't play great football there, and we ended up doing the job reasonably well. And I think there was a stat during the game too where it said like our last 12 games or whatever at the MCG were decided by less than 2 goals, which is absolutely insane. And half of those we won. So it was good to get a result where we got a nice scoreboard buffer there, added to our percentage, and kicked over 100 points for the first time in ages as well. So I know we kicked 100 points last week, but to have consecutive weeks where we've kicked over 100 points and our scoring is looking very, very nice. And it's, whilst I say the goal kicking's a negative, our positive there is we're kicking goals and we're getting inside 50 repeat entries. We look a lot more attacking. And whilst it's opening up teams to score against us as well, that scoreboard pressure that came in that second half, and particularly that burst of 4 goals inside 3 minutes of the last quarter, was just unbelievable. So it's really set that mindset. I can sort of see that configuration that Ken's trying to do is we're trying to burst through that contest. We're trying to open up our inside 50. Todd Marshall is leading a lot more direct, and that bomb inside 50 instead is not happening as much. We're lowering our eyes and getting them on the counter. So that's really important to note. Obviously, with 92 points scored against from a team like Richmond, you wouldn't think that. It happens, I guess, in early stages of the year. Defence is going to be a little bit leaky. I know they're still trying to figure out themselves. But without Aaliyah, Houston and Bergman, and I even thought when Williams came on, he was really good as well. Without those players, I think we sort of lack. Radaglia is still learning his craft a bit. Looked again more impressive. The one key player I really want to out is Brandon Zerkdacher. He was absolutely amazing on Tom Lynch. His whole day of being in the contest with him didn't let him breathe, really. He kicked a couple of goals, but he wasn't damaging. He wasn't in your face, and he got frustrated, and you can see that in the way he entered the contest and in the air and in packs. He was frustrated and annoyed, and BZT did a fantastic job, so full credit to him. I really wanted to acknowledge that. Zach Butters was amazing as well. I thought his second half in particular, that third quarter having 14 touches, was incredible. He was absolutely outstanding, and Connor Rosie's first half as well was really, really good, and he's still leading again. Houston was great. I thought Darcy Byrne-Jones' game was really good, kicking goals as a small forward. He's really starting to... He just looked good. He was really moving the ball well, and he was kicking accurately and hitting targets going inside 50 and tackling, and his pressure was really good. So it's good to see Darcy have that little confidence-building game, I think, because a lot of people would have outed him as a potential out in the side, but now he's really cemented that spot nicely. And I thought whilst it wasn't as potent as a midfield we'd like, Willem Drew was very good as well, kicking goals, and he's hitting the scoreboard, which is, as a midfielder, really damaging. So I'm really impressed with him. Farrell's another as well. His first half was off the chain, man. I think he had 80 points fantasy-wise at half-time. So a lot of these moments in games, our team performance was really significant in that second half. The bounce back was crucial, and I think we sort of needed that because it looked like we were just there, scanned our ticket and game attending. Like, that's what it was like, and in that second half really showed up for Boaky, and I think Ken would have put that message to the boys and given them the lift they needed for that second half. So in the end, really impressed with how we bounced back. Just haven't seen that shining light of, we're here now, we're top four, we're wanting to do what we can do. So interesting, but we'll see. Melbourne this week. I'm just glad we got the result for Boaky because 15 touches, the crowd applauding him at the end for his final touch there brought a tear to my eye because that was beautiful to see. Everyone cheering his name. It was just a special moment, and I'm glad he got a game early in the year where he could celebrate it, because imagine going into round 19, 20, where the significance of the game is so much more than just his 350th. Like, he got it in round 2, we're playing Richmond at the G. He got to celebrate it. He got to have his hot moment. It was all about him. It didn't matter about anything else other than getting a win for him, and I'm really glad he did that. It was like the 30th game out of his 350 that he played at the MCG, which is a wild stat in itself. But I'm just glad he got it. He played okay too, so just impressed. Just really happy with the outcome, and now let's move forward to getting him that one final milestone of winning a premiership this year, because him finishing his career with a flag is probably the ultimate goal, I think. So despite the poor start, the shitty goal kicking, Port got the job done, 2-0, sitting third, comfortable percentage, looking okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, Port fans, about the game, and how do you feel about us going into this week as well. I'll have a preview out for Melbourne tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. It's a busy week, some special guests coming as well for the channel and Pairs on a Pod too, so make sure you check that out. Check out last week's episode of The Glass Table as well. And I just appreciate everyone and all the support. It's been absolutely massive. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Anthony. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Pod Adelaide and AFL content. And as always, can't pair.